Hello again, friends. The year is 1974.
In a moment, it'll be 1974, and we wish you Happy New Year.
Nixon forced out of office after Watergate.
I shall resign the presidency effective at noon tomorrow.
Muhammad Ali beats George Foreman in Africa in the Rumble in the Jungle. Ted Bundy's on a murder spree.
The Ted was seen with a light brown Volkswagen.
Pop rock's invented.
Introducing Pop Rocks Cracklin' Candy.
And one of the most important things that happens in 1974 is I turn 3 years old.
The Cracklin's what's happening!
Today's pick was an easy one for me. I love Linda Ronstadt. I am not a Linda Ronstadt superfan. I do not have every album memorized, but like with a lot of these artists, like the best stuff comes early. And for her, I think the things that I have heard that I like from her are early 1970s. So the 1974 performance that she gives at Don Kirshner rock concert, it's all live. It's not a lip-syncy kind of thing.
A young singer everyone predicts will be the top girl vocalist in the business. It's my pleasure to present Linda Ronstadt.
All of the songs that she plays, save one in this 15 minutes, are from her album Heart Like a Wheel, which is my favorite Linda Ronstadt album. It was one of her most successful at the time. So she had a lot of albums. I checked my notes. 29 studio albums, 37 compilation albums. She won 11 Grammys. Really long career starting in the late 1960s. Her first hit was with a group called the Stone Ponies. Written by Mike Nesmith, who was one of the Monkees. She started her solo career in 1969. I do not have her first album, though I just found a copy on eBay for a couple bucks, so I might buy it. But I do have a small Linda Ronstadt album collection. I was 3, so none of these are albums that I had when I was a kid or anything. They're all albums, like most of the albums in my collection, that I have picked up over the years for super, super cheap. $1, 50 cents, free. By the time I had enough money to buy music, we were into cassettes and then later on CDs in high school and college. And a lot of people are getting rid of their record collections, and as the boomers die off, these records are available. This is the earliest one I have. This is, I want to say 1972. I'm looking for a date on the back. Oh, maybe it's on the inside. There it is. 1972. So the self-titled Linda Ronstadt album, 1972. 73, this is a good one. This is Heart Like a Wheel, which I love this record. Most of the songs in this concert are from this record. It's got all the musical credits. See if any of the members of the Eagles were still playing on this. The Eagles, or at least Glenn Frey and Don Henley, started off as members of Linda Ronstadt's band in the early 70s and then went on to add other members and form the Eagles, and obviously have a very successful career on their own. I learned all this stuff when I was on some project, or I was in some hotel somewhere and having a couple beers, sitting on my bed, and I was flipping around on the television, and I started watching a documentary about Linda Ronstadt. At least I thought it was about Linda Ronstadt, but it turned out to be about the Eagles, and they were going through those early years of the formation and gelling of the Eagles, and them deciding to split off and be their own band or whatever. It was really interesting, and it made me appreciate the Eagles' music more. She had many greatest hits albums. I guess you just periodically release one when you have as many hit songs as her. She was not a songwriter. She was a singer. Beautiful voice. Great combination of lilting, soft country, and also able to kind of growl and be gravelly and kind of more of an R&B and rock tradition. And, you know, she was telegenic, let's say, photogenic, easy on the eyes, 1976, which doesn't hurt. Here, I got this one from the Reuse Center for $1. $1! Sometimes this is what you get when you buy used records. Anyway, this is 1977, another compilation, a retrospective already in 1977 of her 10-year career at that point. She was a big star and one of the first female artists, I think, to break into that kind of arena rock level of concert, touring, sales, all that kind of stuff. Let's have a listen here.
Golly gee, what have you done to me?
The slow songs are not my favorite ones. I usually like stuff that's a little bit more up-tempo with more energy, but you can really hear the sweetness of her voice when the accompaniments are down, and it is mostly just her singing, and I like being able to hear all those little details too. All right, see what's next. Yeah, ditch the acoustic guitar. Let's go. I guess Don Kirshner could not afford chairs. Sit on the floor. Oh, this is a good one.
Been mistreated. When will I be loved?
My favorite record player I ever owned was this big piece of furniture thing. It was like a coffee table that had the record player built into it and these ginormous speakers, and it was all tube powered. And you put on a record like this, and like the way that bass cranked out of there, and it just had this warm, soft feeling. I miss that record player. I love hearing really tight harmonies like that live. I am a terrible singer. I will admit it. I have never been able to go up into like a harmony place and hit that. It's pathetic. So might be one of those things for people who can sing well that it doesn't seem like it's that hard. But to me, I'm always in awe of good harmony parts.
I've been lied to. Some say the heart is just like a wheel.
Title song from the album. Oh, they didn't skimp. They've got cello players and violin there. Fiddle, I guess. I guess it would be a fiddle.
Some say
Oh, we got to see Steve Martin with a balloon on his head. It's a good one, too.
learn my lesson and let go. Now I see I'm again. You're no good, you're no good, you're
She did it there in the chorus, that getting, I don't know. I don't know the terms because I'm not a singer, but like when you kind of get that gravelly, like back in your throat, you know, like she's good at it. There it was. When I'm going to say it again, when I just love it. And I feel like, you know, for me, I jump to 80s heavy metal when I hear this, and hear me out. It's something about where her voice is and how it stays above the guitar and the bass and the drums and like all the accompaniment, and it cuts through cleanly. And I think that's one of the reasons why, like, I really like female rock vocalists. And if you go to hair metal, like it's always the guys are always kind of singing up in that same space there. Some of my favorite male singers manage to exist down where the bass and the chords are, like Jim Morrison and Glenn Danzig, and like these baritones, which I always wonder why guys don't do that more. Axl Rose has a good baritone also when he goes down into that register. But as far as like clarity and being able to pick out the parts, you know, you get that separation. And I think it's the tonal qualities and where she is in pitch that really makes it enjoyable to listen to. And I feel the same way about Debbie Harry, which if anybody has been paying attention to my musical taste, they will know that there is going to be some Blondie coming up very soon. Here, let's listen to the harmonies without the music at all. Yeah.
Baby, you're no good.
Nailed it.
Well, the sun is slowly sinking. I don't want to know the
This is from the album right before this one. Great song.
and I dare not drown my sorrow in the world. You can't buy my love with money, 'cause I never was that kind. Silver threads and rolling needles cannot mend this heart of mine.
Love it. I would say that I could listen to that all day, but I probably have listened to Linda Ronstadt performing live at this point in her career for well over a day. If I added it all together, I watch this stuff a lot. Sometimes when I used to do computer programming, I would find a song of hers that I like that just like hit me in the way that I liked, and I would just put it on repeat. And sometimes I would sit there and code for 10, 12 hours listening to the same song over and over again, because it helps you kind of get in that zone, and eventually you don't even realize when it stops and starts, you know. And I just find her voice to be like both so soothing and so energizing at the same time. So love me some Linda Ronstadt. I will put the link to this concert, and there's a lot of other good concerts. 1974, where she goes on and she plays with the Eagles, so the whole entire Eagles as their backing band, and she does some of the vocals. And I'm sure there's a lot of other good ones out there. I don't know whether there is any overlap in the universe of Linda Ronstadt fans and the people who pay attention to my YouTube channel, all 3 or 4 of you. But if there are, please let me know. And I'm going to work. I didn't realize until I went through my albums how close I was to actually having most of her stuff from the 70s, because I totally don't need like 30 Linda Ronstadt albums. But I would like to have the run of the ones that I like there. So I'm going to work on that. Goals. It's important to set goals. All right. That's all I have to say about 1974. Have a good rest of your weekend.